Welcome to Unaccountable, the world's most okay-est accounting game show for all you finance nerds. I'm your fiscally flexible host, Tyler Otto, joined by the morality magnate, Jeremy Van Grill. How you doing today, sir?
I am well. You look a little more put together this week versus last time we spoke.
I will say, I was beaten down during the last episode. Like, it was good, but like, can I get on a soapbox for a second here?
Oh, please.
Like, this running a firm thing, the universe doesn't play nice, right? I went through, like, you know this, our company has grown like crazy compared to most firms. We have been blessed, but you just feel like you're doing everything right. And then all of a sudden I had 4 months without a single new client. In fact, the client I onboarded before that 4 months, he just started ghosting us 2 months in and then canceled services. Like, he was a hot mess express. So it was almost like 5 months with no new clients. And I was just like kind of panicking. Like, was it all an anomaly? Like, somehow did we just see this insane growth and then it's not going to come? And so I went from like total famine, like wondering, oh crap, what did I do with this company? To all of a sudden, like, we've onboarded $7,500 in MRR this month. I've got like 5 proposals out there, and I think 3 of them are going to go through. Like, I might be near booked out through the rest of the year. I went from dying from starvation to dying from indigestion, like, overnight. This whole running a firm thing is a freaking roller coaster, man.
Oh, I could not agree more. And for our listeners who may not know, MRR, monthly recurring revenue, one of our best KPIs that we have out there as our firms. Yeah, and I agree. Like, similar story. We've been courting, which is a global nonprofit organization that has places all over the world, for 2 to 3 years. And Bupkis went to conferences, put in a whole bunch of effort to try to court these guys, and nothing. And then suddenly in the last 2 months, we've gotten 5 or 6 of them that said, yep, absolutely, let's move forward. But then, as a cruel twist of fate, that would happen is one of them, that was one of our first ones, hired what I'm going to call very experienced financial director, who hired a similarly experienced CPA. And now we are going to be getting removed from that situation slowly but surely, but also doing things like taking the credit card posting, and instead of posting every single expense there by vendor, they're like, nope, we're going to post it all at once when we make the payment and make the vendor the bank. And I'm like, first of all, matching principle, no. Number 2, you lose all sorts of insight for vendor spend, but go. And like, when we onboarded them, that's where they're at. We brought them to the better place. They're going back. So like getting those new clients, but then taking one that we love and just getting rid of us, taking away all the cool stuff we did.
Seriously, this running a business thing, like, you got to be ready for those 2 step forward, 1 step back, and not let it hit your ego, because there are so many variables, and no variable cares about you, Jeremy Van Grill, the head of the company. Everything, it's brutal. I'm glad you can relate. I hope most of our listeners can too.
Yeah. Oh man.
All I can say is, if you're just starting out, be ready for this roller coaster. But no, it's nothing you did wrong. You're on the same ride the rest of us are.
That's right. Welcome to the club.
Jeremy, we're going to kick things off today with a new game that I like to call Niche Please. Jeremy, we're going to be looking at the information provided by the U.S. Census Bureau on the number of new applications for businesses based off their NAICS code in those different sectors. My thought is there's quite a few firms out there that are probably trying to figure out which niche to pick, and I want to help them understand which industries have the most applications being submitted. So, Jeremy, in front of you, I've just provided a list of the top sectors of codes for the NAICS codes. I'm going to describe one of those sectors, and you have to guess based on that list. Are you ready to play, sir?
I am. I want to see where the riches are in which niches.
Ooh, I like that. You're going to write a rap about that later, please. All right, Jeremy. Fastest growing sector, number 5. Mm-hmm. This sector includes companies such as waste collection, executive search services, travel agencies, landscaping, and janitorial. Which on the list in front of you is that?
I would go with professional, scientific, and technical services.
I'm sorry, that is Sector 56, administrative and support, where they had 36,000 applications in the month of August. Some of the fastest growing ones in that space were janitorial and landscaping services. They are crushing it with new business applications, which is a great service business if someone's looking to start doing bookkeeping for an easy company.
That's cool. I thought when I was starting looking at a niche, I looked at not very long, and I can't even think of the right name, but the poop trucks, right? Those are the people that suck out the poop.
The honey buckets or whatever of the world.
Yeah. I'm like, who's going to go after that niche? I could be the poop truck guy.
You'll deal with their crap.
I will deal. Yeah, you'll get a lot of crap from them. That's for sure.
Jeremy, fastest growing sector number 4. This sector includes beauty salons, religious organizations, civic and social organizations, and automotive repair.
That's got to be healthcare and social assistance.
That falls under the category of other services, but they had 40,000 new business applications in the month of August, which beauty salons, they currently in the US have 240,000 businesses. Religious organizations make up 365,000. Like, if someone's looking for a niche, maybe nonprofits, I don't know, Jeremy, do you know anybody? That's a lot of businesses out there to go after.
Yeah, wow, right. And any of these on this list that are growing in the top 5, like, that's a good short list to start digging into. And as we talked about the last episode, how granular can you get, right? Don't be like, I'm going to do at the 81 level of other services, like dig down and find that right one.
Do you do laser hair removal for people with cleft palates? Like, that might be your niche, and you know what? Go after it.
Absolutely.
All right. Jeremy, fastest growing niche number 3. This sector includes residential remodelers, painters, and specialty trade contractors.
Construction?
You are correct, sir. Construction with 48,000 applications. Again, in the month of August, 48,000 new businesses submitted. Now, again, not everyone gets off the ground and running, but some of the ones to highlight with the most businesses active right now, 190,000 in HVAC, 115 in electrical services, and new house construction, 362,000 registered businesses in the US under that specific code. Construction, man, it's booming.
Yeah, and not surprising with how much of a house shortage there was. But now I'm wondering too, with like interest rates going up, that market cool down and whatnot. But yeah, still a great one to look at.
And I will say, I don't want to speak ill of construction people, but at the same time, those clients that we've taken on that do construction, they might be the group that knows their trade the best and is most terrified of accounting. If you're looking for a prime person where if you can come alongside them and help them, construction, great place to be. All right, Jeremy, second fastest growing as of August 2023. This sector includes lawyers, accountants. I know you heard that slip. Don't you dare give me any flack. This sector includes lawyers, accountants, and architects.
All right, got to go back to the professional and technical services.
You are correct. Professional services with 61,000 new business applications in August. Lawyers making up one of the largest chunks of active businesses in the US with 324,000 registered businesses. Accounting services, which I don't think you're going to have much luck trying to do the bookkeeping for those folks, at 352, and management consulting at 359,000. A lot of businesses in that space.
Do you know the number of sexters that have that? Yeah, I agree. I agree with you and had to give you a hard time on that one. I expect it back. However, how many times have you gotten emails from people that, hey, do you need your bookkeeping done? Like, I have gotten so many of those. I'm like, what? What? How? Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, I actually have gotten the email from someone saying, we specialize in doing bookkeeping for accountants. It's like, you want to do my firms? No, we're not going to pay for that. It's like trying to do IT security for a managed service company. No, they do their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jeremy, last one. This is the largest number of applications submitted in August, which we were at 61,000 on the last one. We're now going to 79. So 79,000 new applications in the sector. It includes auto dealers, specialty food stores, and gas stations.
I am not sure on this one. You already said other services. Transportation and warehousing?
It is not. Unfortunately, it is the retail trade sector. And within that, some of the most businesses out there, so you have like 54,000 pharmacies out there, 86,000 supermarkets, but the big one building up that space at 204,000 active businesses is electronic shopping, e-commerce, which should be no surprise to you and I. We know bookkeepers.com went all in on training people to be e-commerce bookkeepers, but that's one of the fastest growing sectors with new businesses popping up left and right. They're going to want your help.
Yeah, agreed. And I think also that makes a good segue into today's halftime.
Yes, Jeremy, you're right. It is halftime, and this is the part of the show where we sit on the sidelines and take a nice big old bite out of an app. And Jeremy, would you like to introduce today's app?
I would, and I love that we did not plan this. And just to happen to be, we're not smart enough to have these good segues, but they just, like, sometimes even the losers
God's grace us.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at Bookkeep. So Bookkeep is an automation tool that really brings sales platform data and brings it into your accounting system. So think about the Stripes, the Squares, other point of sale systems. If you are spending a lot of time summarizing that information, making journal entries, things like that into your QBOs or your zeros, Bookkeep is a tool that actually connects those and rather well, which we all know sometimes the native QuickBooks apps do not. But yeah, I personally have not used this one, being in the nonprofit space, but I think you have. Tyler, what are your thoughts?
So I friggin' love this app. Talk about Square, for example. We have one client with 7 locations on each having their own Square store, I guess. And the brutality of Square is that it will summarize the data, but on daily transactions. But what happens if you're batching transactions over 3 days and you want to match it to the deposit? You usually have to do an old school clearing account to be able to get everything to reconcile. But luckily with Bookkeep, it'll create the journal entries and have it match up to get, like, yes, it's batching 3 days together, but it's not even the full 3 days. It's doing like until noon on the 3rd day and then splitting it. It automatically makes it so when you get to your bank feed, everything there is ready to match. We have not done a revenue reconciliation on this client in almost a year because we don't need to, because Bookkeep posts it to perfectly match on the bank feed every time. It has saved us so many hours. And I feel like I should have come prepared, but I know I'm paying under $30 an entity. It easily saves me an hour's worth of one employee's time a month per store to be able to do this. It is some of the best money I've ever spent and keeps our costs down. But you have something like Square where there's an API. I have another client that has an old school point of sale at their hardware stores all over Montana. And the only thing it spits out is a daily PDF summarizing it. We have that automatically emailed to Bookkeep, and it builds a journal entry that auto reconciles for us. They built an integration for us in this point of sale that no one has ever heard of. This client is on the old school of oldest school POSs. Bookkeep automated it for us. They just said, yeah, we'll build it. And now they're ready to go should someone else use this old school point of sale.
Wow, that's fantastic. Like, they built it?
They built it. They just said, give us 2 or 3 examples of what the daily export looks like. Okay, give us a week. And they came back. It works perfect.
All right, I'm going to need to know this revenue model because, again, we're mostly nonprofits and don't do a lot of this. But I think we talked last week, got a couple of things that's still hanging around from prior to completely niching. And one of them is a salon or like a wellness area. And they have this software that we're doing that, like, hey, it's every day until 5 o'clock. And then you need to cut it off for the next day from 5 p.m. until 5 p.m. and try to match these things. And it's awful. And I'm sure it takes my team at least a couple hours, 2-3 hours at a time just to do it. And if it's $30 a month, that's definite benefit.
Oh, it's absolutely worth it. Anyone else looking for it, be sure to use our link in the show notes if we have one there. Jeremy, you better as well. So at least we can like start making pennies on this podcast. Because right now we're losing money. We're just bleeding it.
Bleeding. Oh, no, good call. Yeah.
This episode of Unaccountable Podcast is sponsored by Keeper. Keeper is an all-in-one app to help bookkeepers and accountants streamline their month-end close. With Keeper, firms get faster responses from clients in a custom-branded portal, deliver better books with file review tools to catch coding errors, produce stunning management reports that clients will actually want to read, and fix their 1099 season by tracking information and requesting W-9s from vendors. All of that is powered by a 2-way sync with the client's accounting file, so you can edit QuickBooks and Xero data directly in Keeper. Keeper has a very affordable and clear pricing model that starts at just $8 a month. To learn more about why thousands of bookkeepers and accountants trust Keeper to manage their month-end close, you can sign up for a trial or book a demo at keeper.app. That's KEEPER.app. Make sure you use the code UNPOD to get 20% off and let people know that you appreciate Unaccountable. Keeper, the one app to run your bookkeeping business.
Well, thank you, Tyler, for that wonderful overview of Bookkeep. I'm interested. Let's go into our next game here. We're bringing another one back. I think we brought our first one back last week, other than Fast Figures, right? This one we're bringing back, Accounting Mashup.
I love this game.
Oh, I love this game, too. I was excited because you came up with it and had the first round, and it has such high potential. I wanted to bring it back, put you on the chopping block. So here, what we do for our listeners is we put together at least an accounting term and something with it, right? So we're mashing up things together. So for example, I think we used in the first or second episode talking through this, if you were a big four accounting firm that also loved to be a daytime soap opera, you would be...
Ernst & Young and the Restless?
Ernst & Young and the Restless. Very good. That does not count towards your score. All right.
Wow.
Let's get started. I loved how you had a lot of these be music themes, so I went there as well.
Ooh, okay.
So the first one here is, if you're selling a receivable at a discounted value to a third party for cash, as sung by Johnny Cash, you're selling your receivables at a lower rate.
I'm going to go Ring of Collection Agency. I don't know.
Could the factoring of fire.
Oh, that is brutal, but good.
Factoring, yes. Another term. I don't know if I would have thought of that one off the top of my head either, but I used to be a
Do you want to explain that term for everyone? Because it's not a term I use. It's like a sheeting. I use that phrase once every, couple of years.
Yeah, that's when you're in the bathroom for too long. Oh, okay. Factoring is when, like, larger organizations where they have a ton of receivables and really need cash flow, they will take their receivables balance and sell it off to a company that specializes in this for maybe 80% of its value or 90% of its value, and they get their cash quicker, and the other company actually processes the receivable and gets the money at their normal terms that they would get them. All right, next one. All right, a slang term for a business being financially solvent or profitable, but the group is still asking, where is the love?
Oh, in the Black Eyed Peas.
Yes! In the Black Eyed Peas. In the black meaning profitable, right? Not in the red. We all want to see that with our clients and ourselves. Next one.
Wait, but you also skipped over the Black Eyed Peas, the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever.
Ooh, yeah, they were brutal.
That was awful.
I didn't really like The Weeknd either when he was there, but yeah, it was better than the Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, agreed. And they had such potential too. Like, how do you have that good of songs and anyway.
It was awful.
All right, next. Sting singing about the system by which the value of a currency was defined of the most precious metal.
Golds, Sting. Oh, Fields of Gold Standard.
Yes, well done. That was a harder one. I didn't know if you'd get that. All right, good one. I like it. All right. The conclusion of a company's annual financial term as sung by Don Henley.
Don Henley. For some reason, the only Don Henley coming to mind is Heart of the Matter. No, that's REM that sang End of the World, because I want to say like Year End of the World as we know it, but...
Ooh, that would have been another one.
That would have been a good one.
Fiscal Year End of the Innocents.
End of the Innocents. You're right. Heart of the Matter was one of the first songs I learned on guitar, and so it's the only Don Henley that comes to mind.
Oh, yeah. Love it. All right, last one. The total amount of money being transferred into and out of a business and potentially into your apple bottom jeans.
Are you talking about Cash Flow Rida?
Cash Flow Rida. Nice work. Well done, Tyler. You got 4 out of 5 there.
That was fantastic. Are you sure I got 4? You know what? I'm not going to have you recount it because I think you're wrong, but I'm going to take it. Jeremy, it is time for our staple, our permanent game of the show, We are on to Fast Figures. Yes, that game where we put 1 minute-ish on the clock and you have that time to answer 10 questions. Every answer is an exact numerical answer, but some are shenanigans and some are accounting trivia. Are you ready to see if you can put up our first perfect game?
I think we both know that's not happening, and I can see in your face you're really excited to do this one, so let's do it.
Jeremy, putting timer on the clock starts now. In 2023, how much can you pay your child without them owing a tax liability this year?
$8,000.
From Alexander the Great's conquest in the 4th century, how many sites, later called wonders, were documented?
7.
The section of the tax code that allows you to depreciate certain assets right now rather than over multiple years.
179.
What is the latest iPhone model?
15.
If you are a solopreneur LLC, how many hours of volunteer time can you deduct for volunteering for a charitable organization?
Oh, I should know this one. 5.
If you donate a car to charity, at what dollar threshold do you need a written appraisal to justify the deduction amount? If it's over this amount, Jeremy.
$1,000.
Knowing that copyright extends 70 years after the life of the author, when will Mickey Mouse enter the public domain?
2022.
In the Terminator franchise, what year did the Terminator come back from to kill Sarah Connor in 1984?
2025.
Per a report from Accounting Today, what year does the IRS plan for taxpayers to be able to respond to notices electronically via secure message or e-fax?
2030.
In 1946, a convenience store named Totem changed its name to this to draw attention to its 16 hours a day that they are open.
76.
All right, Jeremy,
Oy.
let's see how you did. First question. In 2023, how much can you pay your child without them owing a tax liability within the year? I would have given it to you if you were in $1,000. You said 8,000. The correct answer, 13,850, aka the standard deduction. This is for business owners that own an LLC. You can't pay your children if you're an S corp or C corporation, though there are ways around this where like you can have a family management company. So your S corp or C corp pays your family management company, and then your family management company can pay the kids. But this is one of those fun little tax planning strategies where if your kid is old enough to work, you can get some money out of the business to them tax-free.
An S corp, you can't do that.
Any sort of S corp, C corp, no. So the way around it is, yeah, you set up a family management company and you pay management fees to them, and then you pay your kid, and that's kind of the little loophole.
Okay, interesting.
I call my family management company AutoZone LLC, OTTO.
Oh, Jesus.
Isn't it great?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
So good. Jeremy, from Alexander the Great's conquest in the 4th century, how many sites, later called wonders, were documented? You said 7? Well done, sir. And for bonus points, how many of them can you name?
Oh, 0. The pyramids.
1.
That probably is the only one that I know off the top of my head. I should know so many more of these.
So this is one of those things that like I learned in like 8th grade social studies, and I cannot forget them. I don't know why, but like it's the one useless piece of trivia I know. It's like the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Statue of Zeus at Olympus, the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus, the Pyramids of Giza, and I'm forgetting one, Colossus of Rhodes. There you go.
Huge nerd. Oh, nice. That's impressive.
All right, Jeremy, what section of the tax code allows you to depreciate something now if it qualifies? You said section 179. That is correct. And section 179, the big thing is to clarify that whatever is being depreciated qualifies. There are certain things that do, certain things that don't. I don't think we should get into it right now.
I would completely agree.
Jeremy, what's the latest iPhone model? You said 15. That is correct, sir. Way to go. Looking at upgrading, but then again, I'm cheap, so I might not.
Right.
If you are a solopreneur LLC, how many hours of volunteer time can you deduct if you volunteer for a charitable organization? You said 5.
This is the trick
The
question,
answer is
isn't
a
it?
fat whopping 0, Jeremy.
Oh, that's thought.
So many people I know want to say, but I volunteered here. I should be able to deduct that. You can't. Now, I'm not going to say that never happens because I know some people, like, they put their staff on salary and then they just don't document what they were doing that day and still pay their staff. But when it comes down to it, particularly if you're a single member LLC, you can't deduct squat for going and volunteering.
Right. And coming from the nonprofit world, the nonprofits should be putting some kind of estimate of value that they are receiving for volunteer hours if it is material. So we need to, several of our clients put that as donated time and then expense. However, that gets completely pulled out of all their financials when they do their 990 and stuff, but it has to be there for audit purposes. Or if they want to say like they're growing their revenue or support, they can put that in as revenue.
Jeremy, if you donate a car to charity, at what dollar threshold do you need a written appraisal to justify the deduction amount? You said 1,000. The answer is 5,000. So if you're under 5K, like, you still have to fill out an extra section on the 8283 it is, I believe, just saying like, hey, you know, what the vehicle's worth, because if it's over $500, you have to have a little bit of information. But at over 5,000, you've got to provide a written appraisal, which to me doesn't sound worth it unless you're trying to get like 25K. Otherwise, like, if it's 6K, I'm just going to say, no, not even going to go through the effort. I'm going to just claim 5K.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they get a lot of $499.99 or $49.99s put on their tax filings.
I bet you're right. Knowing that copyright extends 70 years after the life of the author, when does Mickey Mouse enter the public domain? The correct answer is, well, you said 2022. The question was, when will it? Which means
You're wrong.
will usually implies future, Jeremy. The correct answer is 2024. Next year, Steamboat Willie enters the public domain. Now, good thing to clarify is that just with all the lawsuits and everything going on that has gotten it this far for Mickey Mouse to be out of public domain, Colored Mickey didn't even start till like 10 years later. So supposedly it might be another decade until you can use any colored versions of Mickey Mouse in public domain. So Jeremy, you can't change your company logo yet.
Dang. I actually saw John Oliver did an episode on this on trademarks getting expired. And I thought it was last year, they said, so I thought you were trying to trick me. But actually, yeah, coming up soon. And if you watch, what is it, In the News Tonight or Last Week Tonight, whatever John Oliver
tonight with John Oliver.
That is a good one where he puts Mickey through the shredder.
I love it. Well, and Mickey's been weird because they've gotten several extensions, so it's not the perfect 70-year rule, actually. Anyways.
Yeah.
But in the Terminator franchise, what year did the Terminator come back from to kill Sarah Connor? I'm sorry, you were incorrect. The answer is 2029. And I bring this up because, like, Jason Stats, the CPA, just posted on LinkedIn today a video that someone put together. One was him actually saying something, and one was AI generated. And it was guess which one was the actual clip of him saying it. And it is hard to tell.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, we're 6 years off of Terminator. Do you think, like, we're on pace to hit, you know, the prediction?
Let's hope not. But now I'm thinking, hey, we could probably save 2 hours a week and just put, hey, can you do a podcast with two goofy guys about accounting with a bunch of games in it? And we're like, no one's going to be no idea the better.
It's probably going to be better, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
For a report from Accounting Today, what year does the IRS plan for taxpayers to be able to respond to notices electronically via secure message or e-fax? You said 2030. The correct answer, end of 2023. This year, they're saying they might have that. Now, hey, yeah, I can see skepticism on your face, but I want to point out they said secure electronic message and e-fax. They didn't just say fax, they said e-fax, like they understand how to use technology. This could be amazing.
Just yesterday, so I have a client that did payroll until we took them over manually, right? So filed their 941s with pencil and paper, typed it in, signed checks, all of that. They forgot to put a Schedule B, which puts the date of the payments on one of their 941s. So just yesterday, I was on the phone with the IRS for 90 minutes because they can only put you on hold in 7-minute increments, and then got to the point saying, yes, are you able to fax me that form right now? No, I'm not able to fax you the form because I don't have a fax machine, because that's ridiculous. So I am ridiculously skeptical about this, but please do something, right? Like, I was so frustrated.
We're going to put the link to the article from Accounting Today in the notes so that y'all know it's not me making this up. This is out there. Jeremy, last question. In 1946, a convenience store named Totem changed its name to draw attention to its 16 hours a day that they are open. You said 76?
Like a 76 station. It's the only thing convenience store I could think of with a number in it.
Or 7-Eleven, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.?
That's two numbers. I'm sorry.
It is. It's fast figures. Multiple.
I remember not too long ago where someone said an answer as the old men and thrice. Those are not, no, I'm kidding. All right, that makes sense. I just only could think of something. I was proud I came up with 76 because it had a 6 in the name.
I'm proud of you as well. And Jeremy, 30%, again, it's not a shutout. I still hold that record.
There'll come a day.
Well, Jeremy, it is the end of our show, which means we get to announce our winner of the week. And I would like to highlight, I think the winner is taxpayers. Now, specifically, taxpayers that are using small firms. Because also from Accounting Today, this article highlights that the IRS has given official guidance for how to plan for the death of a tax preparer. Because there are so many tax preparers, solopreneurs that are dying off. They are giving guidance on what to do so that your clients aren't left in the lurch when you die. Yes, accountants are dying off and they're all solo firms. The IRS had to address this. It is amazing.
Ooh. So they're going to spend their time doing that and not providing better tools for us to use. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the last thing. Good for them that they do that, because you don't want that, right? If like you're a tax filer and be like, yeah, do I have any tax papers? Nope, you got to go to my accountant. No, like if you are the individual and your tax preparer is at any age or any point, like make sure you're getting copies, getting your originals back, all of that, because you never know, like if they up and disappear or apparently die.
Well, and we've taken over the books for so many people. They already don't know if their tax preparer is still alive. Like, they haven't heard from them in 4 months. They email them all the time. They never hear back. Could be they're dead. Could be they're just your average tax preparer. So, congratulations for the average taxpayer out there that the IRS is at least trying to help you a little. As for our loser of the week, accounting firms. Wall Street Journal has really been hitting this hard for the last year about the accounting shortage. But they just released new numbers yesterday that accounting graduates in the last year has gone down another 7.8%. And we can link this article, but Jeremy, I highly recommend you go look at the graph in there of accounting graduates by year. It looks like a fun slide at a kid's playground, just like how steep it's getting going down year over year since 2016, 17. It's absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if this means the death of our profession or just, Jeremy, you and I are finally going to become more valuable in the eyes of society.
Oh, the latter would be nice, right? But there are also, and I don't think you have, and I have not either, several of accounting firms that are outsourcing to other countries to get labor. And at some point, you can't blame them if the people are not there, right? Like, I don't want to do that personally because I feel like we put that personal touch on our clients. And don't take that the wrong way. But this is just disappointing. And I have so many clients that say like, hey, I can't hear back from my auditor. Right. And I don't want to throw the auditor under the bus, especially ones that I like working with that know nonprofits and I know they do a good job and are efficient, and be like, yeah, that sucks. But also, do they just not have the people either to be able to timely respond to things? But then also, I think like that's a firm issue. If someone from my team was doing that and I heard our clients getting ghosted by them, like that's a problem. It's going to get addressed pretty quickly.
Absolutely. No, I think eventually this whole thing is going to come to a head. And ultimately, my thing is I want to raise awareness with all our prospective clients that, hey, like we're the ones that are still here. So yes, this justifies our prices, because they still somehow all think that we're going to cost the same thing we did back in 1998.
Yeah, or that AI is going to do all our jobs. Like, yeah, hopefully we're going to use it to make it get more efficient, but there is no way for years and years and years to come that AI could ever do this job with how much things change out there.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, last thing I want to highlight today is we got another review. It turns out we have 4 listeners now. So, Mom, I know you were the first, but our 4th listener left a nice little review. From Alicia, we got so much fun, 5-star review. I'm not an accounting person, but I love this podcast. You guys are hilarious, if not slightly cringe at times. The game show format is fun and engaging. Jeremy, I'm going to go on a limb and say you got the cringe.
I was going to say, I like that she said slightly cringe. I feel like that's being generous. So thank you, Alicia, for all of that.
As we've mentioned before, feel free to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or anywhere else, and we'll gladly read it on the show. Or if you have any ideas, pitas of the week, questions, feedback, comments, or questions, hit us up at accountable.co and leave a message after the beep. It literally has a beep there for you to leave a message after. Jeremy, any closing thoughts for the week?
Does it really have a beep?
It does. If you go to our page, it has a beep for you to leave a message after.
Man, I'm going to go leave one right now.
Well, Jeremy, that is all the time we have for a week. And until next time, I look forward to what Halloween outfit you're going to be putting together to go out with your kids. Like bonus points if you're going in drag. Because the listeners, they wrote in. They want to see pictures.
Oh, no, they don't. But you know me. Yes, it's either going to be sexy sailor or sexy housemaid or sexy pumpkin head guy.
Either way, we look forward to it. Till next time, sir.